You want to have better photos of yourself, but there's nobody in your life to take them, and you don't know how to take them of yourself. Well, let's fix that.
Work hard, rest often.
What is going on, everyone? It is Finn, and I am a photographer and model, and today I'm going to teach you how to take better photos and look better in them. Doing a little bit of a self-portrait thing here. So what I'm going to do is show you basically how I would take a photo of myself if I didn't have anybody to take better photos of me. And we can do this in a professional setting and more of a casual setting as well. Gear-wise, I'm filming on my EOS R, so I'm a little limited in terms of autofocus, but I am using the Canon 6D here, and you're gonna see I'm gonna use a little trick to actually be able to work with this guy, even though the autofocus isn't quite as good as this camera right here. Then I'm lighting this with the Genere Porta Bright. This is roughly equivalent to your Aperture 120Ds or your Godox 60W, 120W, something like that. And that is through a big beauty dish here, which is creating a nice soft light on my face, very flattering look there. We're shooting on the 85-1.8 lens, one of my favorite budget lenses that just gives a great look and is a super tack sharp lens all around. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have a big light like this, what you can do is just find a blank wall on the other side of a window and use that window light to light you basically the exact same way this is doing. I don't have a blank wall across from a window, so I'm using this to emulate a soft window lit look. So if you have a window and you can put up a background or anything behind it, a little bit of foam core, something like that, that'll work great in place of this guy right here. So without further ado, this is our setup. Super simple, one light, one camera, one lens. Let's get taking some photos. Because I'm using manual focus for this, what I did is I used a lamp in place of where I'm going to be standing, and then I just focused this guy so that way it would be at the same point, so that way it's a good reference point for where I'm going to be standing. And then that way I just use that as my mark to go off of, and then I might be a hair off, but I can adjust it on the fly. So we've got our focus locked. We're gonna move the lamp out of the way, just on the same axis parallel, so that way I know kind of where to stand. I'll just stand back here. And we have our camera set up on a 10-second timer, so you'll just see me hit this button a bunch, stand back there, and then we'll go from there. I'm also gonna be sharing a bunch of posing tips and stuff like that to get the best photo possible. Now, especially if you're doing something like a headshot or something like that for yourself, you wanna keep your wardrobe simple, but you're also gonna look better and feel better if you're wearing something that you feel good in. A simple option for me is just a white shirt. This kind of has a bit of a textured fabric to it, so it makes me feel a little more comfy, but also nice, and it's still form-fitting, and it just makes me feel good. And when you look good, you feel good, so that just helps you get better photos there. I have it unbuttoned a couple, and I have a couple chains here. If you're doing like a more professional headshot, you want it buttoned up a little more, something like that. But that's not what I'm doing here, so I'm fine having it unbuttoned and showing a little bit more skin there. I know it might be a little scandalous, but I think we can get away with it. So without further ado, let's actually get shooting. I'm just gonna turn the power up on this guy a little bit, just 1 or 2 points. It's about 30% right now. So I'm gonna stand in position here. I'm just gonna tilt this guy a little bit so you guys can still see where I'm at. Stand on the same axis as this. I'm gonna clock my body a little bit like so. And I'm just gonna give a little squinch, pinch the mouth a little bit there, and let's see how that first shot is looking. Right off the bat, I'm a hair out of focus. The shirt is actually in focus, but my face is out. I'm shooting at like 2.8 right now, so it's super shallow depth of field. Basically, depth of field is what's in focus, and the shallower depth of field, you're gonna have less in focus. 2.8 is a pretty shallow depth of field, especially on a longer focal length. The longer the focal length, the shallower of a depth of field you'll have as well. So because I'm on a longer focal length and a shallow depth of field, I need to be really careful with where I'm standing. But because I know my shirt is in focus, but my eyes and face aren't, that just means I need to take a little step back, and then I'll be fine. So this is gonna be a little bit of back and forth jumping around, but I think we can get the shot. So try this again. I'm gonna take a hair back, same kind of pose. I'm gonna go 3/4, do that squinch, give a little smirk there, and there we go. Let's see how that looks. And you know what? That's a pretty solid image right off the get-go. Now, I want to spice it up a little bit, make it a little more moody or something like that. So I'm going to position the light off to the side a little bit and create a little more drama there versus just completely front lighting myself. So now we have this guy more off to the side. So I'm getting more of a side light going on. And hopefully it's still going to be a soft light because we have this diffusion material on our light here, but it will be a little more dramatic because it's not going to be so flat on my face. Off to the side a little bit, hand to the pocket, give a little smirk. Let's see how that guy looked. You can see there, got a little cheeky with it there. But all in all, that's actually not bad. I forgot to take another step back though, so it's completely out of focus. But that's actually not a bad look. I maybe want this to be a little more side lighty. So right now, if I'm standing here, the light is about here, so I'm getting kind of the edge of it. The edge of the light is generally softer. It's going to be a little more flattering, but also a little flatter. So if I bring it kind of more here-ish, it's going to be a little more direct and a little more dramatic because of that. Also, you'll notice whenever I'm taking photos, myself, I'm always standing with this side of my face to the camera. And that is because I know that this side of my face or straight on are my best sides. This side of my face is good, but not quite as good. Everybody has a good side. Mine are here and here. This guy is okay, but not ideal. And the way that you can figure this out for yourself is whenever you go to take a photo with your phone, whenever you go to take a selfie, hold it up and see where you want to take that selfie from. So if I'm here, that's okay. If I'm straight on, that looks pretty good. But then I turn my face to the side, and those are two solid options there. So that's a great way that you can figure out what side of your face you prefer, because everybody has one. But the way to tell is just take a bunch of selfies and you'll figure it out quite easily. Sometimes when I'm taking portraits of people, if they don't really know the side of their face, I'll just ask them, when you take a selfie, where do you hold the phone? And sometimes they'll take out their phone and they'll go, okay. And they'll put it over here. So I know, okay, that side of their face is the best. Or they hold it over here and I'm like, okay, this side is the best. It really depends on person to person, and sometimes if they don't know, I'll take a bunch of shots of different sides of their face, and usually I'm able to tell because I study faces for part of my living. So it's something that I'm able to tell pretty easily. But it's something that it differs from person to person, and some people don't really care too much. I just know that this is my preferred side of my face. I've learned that through years of being in front of the camera, between being a photographer, being a model, filming these videos, etc. Very seldom you'll see this side of my face more. It's usually either going to be straight on or it's going to be this side of my face. So that's kind of me exposing myself there. But now you know. Alright, now you can see this guy is directly at the side of my face here, so we should get a little more interesting of a shot going on there. We'll just turn that a little bit, and I think that should be pretty good there. We'll try taking a photo. Hopefully we won't have the light in the shot. I don't think we will. Now remember, okay, that's my axis. I'll take one step back. I'm doing the same pose for the most part here, just turning a little bit, 3/4. Getting that squinch, getting that smile, just to give a nice little look overall. You'll notice I do this in just about every one of my photos that I take of myself. Now, the one thing is, that looks great, but it is a little bit too bright, and to give myself a little more leeway, I'm just gonna bring my aperture down to about f4. Because I'm dropping my aperture, I'm giving myself a little more leeway, so I'll have myself more likely to be in focus. Speaking of focus, if the camera could focus on my face, that'd be great. There we go. Okay, let's see how this looks now. Okay, and we can see based on that, the side light really made a big difference there. So this is a way that you can get a little more dramatic of a look, but it is still, I was a little out of focus on that shot, so I gotta take it again. So let's take another step back. I also think I'm cutting off a little bit too much of my head. So I'm gonna adjust the framing a little bit and then take another shot and we'll see how that goes. Just gonna lift this camera up just a bit, probably about there-ish. Should be good. Maybe I wanna open that guy up a little more. Oh, and that's a great shot all around. We can see I got a nice amount of headroom, and even though my collar is unbuttoned here, it actually is still a great shot, and I could use this for a headshot if I really wanted to. Now the way I shoot headshots is a little different, and I wouldn't use this for that type of thing myself, but this is a great solid portrait. If you're looking for a profile picture or anything like that, you can even use this on a dating profile, whatever. And these same things apply no matter what you're doing. Just take a photo being lit by a window or something like that and you'll get a great result. And if you don't have a background directly opposite from a window, just turn that window to the side. So let's say this light right here is the window. And then you can stand up against the wall, have your camera shooting you, and you're lit nicely. You're getting a bit of that side light. It's a little moodier and it's a great look overall. Now I want to try something that is a great tip that I like for those really nice smiling photos that are more candid. Now I'm watching the little flicker on the timer and I'm going to try something as soon as I know it's about to take the photo. So what did I do there? I pushed out a laugh and that looks like this. So right before the photo, I intentionally exhale, push out a laugh, and then I get a very honest looking image that has a very natural laugh to it. That's a great shot right there. You can see I'm still getting that nice catch light in the eyes. I got a nice smile going on. It's a little goofy, but I'm a bit of a goofy person, so that's a great shot overall there as well. The light is super nice and soft because the light is really close to my face. The closer your light is to your subject, the softer that light's going to be. So a little handy tip for you there. Also, keep in mind, I'm doing this in a little small corner. You don't need a lot of space to take these photos, so that's another great tip there as well. Now, all of these have been smiling for the most part, and let's say I want to take a more serious one. Well, let's try that. And I'm going to use the same fundamentals. And what I'm going to do for this one, instead of doing a little smirk or a smile or a laugh or anything like that, I'm going to keep my squinch, my little pinching of the eyes, add a little more mystery there, but I'm going to keep my mouth neutral. And what that'll do is it'll just create a more serious look, but it'll still be confident and maybe even a little intimidating. We'll see how this guy looks. So I think I'm pretty well framed up there. I'll take a shot. Squinch it up. Serious face. RBF. Oh yeah, that's a great shot. Nicely in focus. The light looks great and it's serious, but it's just a great overall look. I'm actually really pumped on this shot here. Like, it looks like somebody just walked in the room and I was like, what's up? That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this, and I think it looks really cool. If you notice, I'm also framing my eyes kind of in that top upper third of the frame there. So working off of that rule of thirds, a great look here. And because I'm wearing a simple shirt, it's not distracting from the photo. This is something if you want just a simple portrait. Keep the wardrobe simple, but make sure it feels good. Keep it fitted. I have this tucked in, so it's just a little more fitted. Adding some accessories, adding a bit of personality there is a great thing as well. Now, I'm gonna change up a couple different poses to actually give you guys a little more to work off of. Take a shot, and this one I'm gonna do a bit of a hair sweep kind of vibe. So looking at when it's gonna flash, or not flash, because there's not a flash on it, but now that I was a little late on it, so I'm not super pumped on that shot. So we'll take another one. Trial 2. This is a lot of trial and error with these. So you just gotta kind of feel it out, see what feels good. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna do something like this. That's what we're doing. You'll notice I'm not really like forcing my hand through my hair. I'm just doing it nice and light. And that's the way to do this. If you're putting your hand on your head or anything like that, keep everything nice and soft, and you're not going to get that like pushing into the skin, unless that's the look you're going for if you're like frustrated or something like that. And we can see that's actually a pretty cool look. I have my lips a little open here, so that kind of adds a little extra level there as well. And it kind of lends to a cool shot. Now, I want to add in a little something to spice it up a little bit because I think this could look pretty cool. Okay, so I've got some shades here and we're going to make this into a really cool image. So let's go to take this again. And I'm going to do like a kind of like pulling the sunglasses partially off of my face thing. This is a great setup that you can use to shoot eyewear as well. Now, I'm not exactly happy with my expression there, but the photo overall is pretty nice. So let's try another shot. I think we can do better. I'm going to keep the face a little more serious with this. I think that'll help. And as I'm doing this, I'm kind of moving my legs in different ways, so it kind of looks like I have more of my weight on one side or the other, And this is just to help give a little bit of more of a full body posing rather than posing with part of your body. Because when you get your full body into it, you're playing more of a character, which I always feel like helps that overall look. Oh yeah, and that's a great shot. Like if you compare the two, the one with the smile, it's okay, but the serious one just looks really, really nice. And we can even try one with the glasses on as well. I've modeled for some eyewear stuff before, so granted this is nothing I'm not used to, but it's something that can create a super dope look. Now I'm gonna actually look into the light. I'm not gonna look right at the camera like I have been. And yes, I know, wearing sunglasses inside, who do I think I am? But it can lead to some cool photos. And I think that one actually looks pretty sweet. Now I am cutting most of my head off in it. Yeah, I'll try that one more time. And we're getting a bit of that light reflection, but we can blur out it so it just looks like a nice highlight rather than like a bright light that I'm staring directly into. So I'm going to line myself up kind of in the middle of the camera there. We'll do something like this. Oh yeah, and that's a much better photo. You can see we're getting a great light on the face there, added a bit of mystery. The sunglasses look great. I'm pretty pumped on how these photos turned out overall. So this is a great way that you can take your own photos if you want to look better in photos and you want to have better photos of yourself and you don't have anybody in your life around to do so. And you can use the same fundamentals if you have a phone as well. If you're using your phone though, I recommend using the telephoto lens as it's going to be more flattering on your face and bringing it farther away. Put it on like a stand or put it on like a tissue box or something to level it. Just work with the light in your setting if you're next to a window or something like that, and play around with it and get some great photos. You can put your phone on a timer as well and just take some great shots overall. So I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. Comment down below if you want to see more different posing tips, how to look better in photos and take better photos. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell to be notified for all future videos. Work hard, rest often, and as always, my friends, I will see you on the next one. Goodbye. Except what I'm going to do for this one is instead of doing a little smirk or a smile,